Good afternoon, this is Jeremy Curran. If you have a lead generation strategy that gives you perpetual warm leads, you probably have a viable business option or a profitable business that is scalable and can make you quite a bit of money. So in today's video, I'm going to walk through a lot of the stuff that we've done over the last 16 to 20 years, from my starting as a W-2 sales rep at Unishippers, and then starting my own warehousing and logistics company, and now building solar-powered sports and social rental communities of my own design in towns that we love for village redevelopment, and kind of how this has evolved and how we're now focused more so and more correctly on generating evergreen, warm leads that we can onboard as new clients faster and better without so much cold calling and activity at a lower win rate. So when I started, my employer just said, go out and knock on 50 doors a day and talk to as many people as you can and bring back 8 to 12 new clients a month and we won't fire you. It was wonderful. Very inspiring. I mean, it worked, but it was definitely hard work. You were out pounding the pavement, and we were talking, just as it sounds, going out in our local territory and talking to 50 businesses a day, door to door, trying to get to the right person, the shipping manager, the operations manager, the owner of the company, set up meetings, run price quotes, things like that, and win business. We were also doing telesales. On certain days we would just blast through the phone and call as many companies as we could in our local area, or maybe even in other areas outside of the country if our territory wasn't that lucrative. And that also worked probably at a lower percentage, but you could just talk to more people that way. There's only so many businesses you can call on in a day, driving around, getting gas, getting lunch, walking in. It takes quite a bit of time, whereas telesales you can just start from your home office or whatever and easily make 70 to 100 calls if you really focus on it. Then I got into going to trade shows. I think trade shows are nice because you can kind of pick trade shows that revolve around your hobbies or passions, and it makes it more fun. I mean, that's what I've done, definitely. Going to Surf Expo and Interbike Expos and Overland Expos and the Electrified Expo, and just things that are fun and are passions in my life anyways, so that I try harder and we work harder to satisfy those clients and do a good job for them. And then it also lends itself to coming up with cool, unique marketing opportunities, because I participate in a lot of the sports of the trade shows that we go to, so I use a lot of the pictures and videos and things of us doing those activities, mountain biking, surfing, skiing, and then I rebrand it into marketing material to land clients. Or you could focus on high growth or high profit industries, whatever is interesting to you. It's pretty easy to get into trade shows, and then as it sounds, you get into the trade show, you talk to all the companies, try and get the most correct person while you're there, so you don't have to do a ton of research after the fact, and then engage with them when you get back to your office. And I've had a lot of success with this. This is probably my number one strategy because it's more fun and it's more interesting to me, and I would go to a lot of these shows for free because it's just products that I think are cooler I want to buy anyways, so it's fun. We've been doing a ton of email marketing for probably the whole time, maybe not quite as well as I could have done it, but we've been doing it the whole time, and list building. Currently we use Seamless AI for our database tool. It's fairly affordable. I think it's like $130 a month. You can literally pull 1,000 leads a day. That includes, by title, by industry, name, phone number, direct dial, email address, mailing address. The only problem is what to do with them, because most permission-based email marketing platforms won't just let you load endless contacts into it, so you have to figure out a way to do that. We use a telesales team to verify the emails, or you could use a platform like Neverbounce to filter all the emails through, just to make sure that they don't bounce, because if you send out emails and there's a high enough bounce rate, you're going to get flagged and you're going to get kicked out of the email marketing platform. I mean, ideally, everybody should be coming to your website and signing up for your email lists, and it's a perfect world and there's flowers and ponies everywhere. But let's face it, that's not exactly how business works, and sometimes you just got to do what you got to do to get your business up and running, grow, make money, and pay your employees well. So email marketing is probably one of the lowest cost, highest return things that you can do in many ways, because once you have the email list, you own it. The only problem is I've been in business for 20 years and a lot of these people have gotten other jobs or job hopped, and you have to kind of refresh your list to a certain extent. Some of the platforms make it easy to opt those people out as they bounce. They just pull them out. And there are email marketing platforms. We use Campaign Monitor, we've used MailChimp, we've used Constant Contact, and a few others. There are some non-permission based platforms. I've tried them. I found them pretty hard to use. They weren't super intuitive. And I don't know, maybe that was the point, I don't know. But email marketing is awesome. This last couple of years, we've gotten into content marketing heavily, blogging, vlogging like this, but trying to get better and better at it. Doing keyword research with keyword research tools like Ubersuggest, SEMrush, there are others, and trying to figure out what people are actually searching for first with intent around the services that our company provides or your company provides, and then crafting content with your unique spin around that. Instead of, when I first started out, I was just making blog content around things that were interesting to me. Freight shipping scenarios for surfboard companies, freight shipping scenarios for bike companies, lowering costs and optimizing logistical setup for overland companies. But there wasn't really a whole lot of search for those exact keyword terms, so I was basically just shouting from the rooftops and nobody was listening. So I think a better way and a more optimized way is to start with keyword research, see what people are actually searching for, and then build your content around that. Hopefully with keywords that are intent based, where it's not necessarily freight shipping, it's freight shipping quote or freight shipping discounts, things like that, where it suggests that they're actually looking for a service, not just doing research on a topic. Ideally building kind of like this educational content that's helpful and free, and not just blasting them with sales pitches one after another. Generally speaking, we try and do 2 to 3 educational, informative topics, and then maybe we'll email one blatant ask for, hey, do you have anything that you're shipping today? Can we run a rate on it? We'll set you up for success. We really appreciate it. Yada yada yada. My workflow now, I prefer to shoot a video like this because it's really easy. You set up the camera, write down the topic and the loose bullet points, just talk through it. Then I take the video and I push it into a service called HappyScript to transcribe what I've said into text. That's really quite cheap and does a great job. Then I feed it into ChatGPT or another AI service and have it rework, optimize, and amplify it, and then we ask it to, write it as though Alex Hermosi or Sabre Subi or Russell Brunson had written it in a direct response copy format with strong calls to action and kick butt marketing to make it fun. And it does an amazing job because it really takes, my ideas and makes them even better and amplifies them and adds in context and stuff that, a lot of stuff that I can't even think about because it just has access to so much information and so much background information. So that's been a really great way. And then now we're using a system called Surfer SEO, where we'll take the article a step further and really feed it into there for the keyword we're looking for or looking to optimize for, and let that optimize the article SEO wise all the way up. That we've redone our whole website feeding it through Surfer SEO. So we're really hopeful that that's going to help a ton. But nice workflow. And then from there, we social post the content using a system called Publer that mass post it to LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. Ours is kind of a B2B company mostly, so I tend to focus on LinkedIn and Twitter, but it can post to all kinds of things. But it's not necessarily to get necessarily more of a following there. You're really just trying to get more engagement out of the platforms where people already are and get them back to your content, or subscribing to your service, or asking you questions about what you do. Not just random social posting, but just getting the content out there, hopefully educational, interesting, and engaging content that people are going to want to see and is going to be interesting to them, and they're going to have questions, and it's going to help you. And then we take the content marketing topic and we email it out. We have like a database of 60,000 email addresses now that we've built up, and we blast it out to those guys as well, generally on a weekly basis, just to get more engagement, more eyeballs on the content we're already producing, and it helps everything overall for more engagement, more interest, more questions, more warm leads, which is ultimately the name of the game. We're trying to generate warm leads without having to make hundreds of thousands of cold calls to people who aren't currently in the market for what we're selling. You can talk people into things, you can show them a really low price or a really great offer, and sometimes you can convince them to try your service, but it's so much easier when you have a lead generation strategy that gives you warm, interested parties when they're ready to make a buying decision and when they're ready maybe to switch over and try a new service. So much easier. The win rate is like 50 to 70% versus 2 to 15 or 20% maybe the other way. And then I've kind of alluded to it, but social media engagement, there are various ways to do it. I tend to create content based on keyword research and then social post it out to our various social media channels. I saw a fun fact that actually said that LinkedIn is, I don't even know, have 1 billion users or something like that, but only 2% of people on LinkedIn, which is the biggest professional career website in the world, I believe, are putting interesting, engaging content on the website or posting. They're mainly just sharing like job changes or promotions or whatever, but if you're putting engaging educational content on LinkedIn, you have a vastly better chance of sticking out and getting engagement. So that's definitely something we've been taking advantage of. Number 7, paid ads. You should probably be doing a little bit of all of this, or at least 2 or 3 of these things, because why not? The end all goal is to generate warm leads. So it doesn't really matter where they come from, as long as they cost less than the money they generate lifetime. So paid ads, Google or LinkedIn, or there are so many channels where you can do paid ads, Facebook, Instagram. Again, keyword research first, looking for intent-based keywords, not just general research keywords. Instead of freight carriers, we're looking for people that are searching for LTL freight rates or LTL freight pricing. So, it suggests that they're actually looking for a service and a quote or a price. Covered that, Google, LinkedIn, and then we actually, I've paid people to set up my ads. I've tried to do it myself historically. I've never found a really good holistic paid ads company. So we actually started using ChatGPT for this, and it's gotten so good that it helped me set up my Google remarketing correctly and my ads in like a fraction of the time. And it's been pretty amazing and empowering because it just understands so much of the stuff that I can actually do it myself. And it's really quite cool to be able to actually drill into this stuff, run experiments, A/B test ads, and figure it out. Ideally focusing on ads that stand out and sell like crazy, like the Sabre Subi book. Most corporate ads are super vanilla and super safe. If you write ad copy that's spicy and blunt and sarcastic and slightly humorous, that gets at your client's core needs and and fears and desires, your ads are going to stand out, and your click-through rate is going to go way up compared to most companies, because most companies just kind of write the same old vanilla stuff because they're worried about their investors and yada yada yada. So if you can write really spicy, engaging ads, you're going to do much better than most big corporate companies, especially if you have the leeway to do that. And then really, you can run great ads and you can have this all set up, but if your landing page or your squeeze page that you're driving the ads to don't convert and don't resonate with the person that clicks the ad, you're kind of wasting your money. So a lot of the services that we've used, they're good at ads or good at research, but they don't also do landing pages. So you kind of have to have this whole, holistic loop where, you're running the ads, those are going to a landing page, and then the landing page is converting them to a warm lead, and then you're able to follow up with them and land them as a client. So you really have to look at it in a full circle approach holistically, because if you're not doing all of it, you're not going to be optimizing the money you're spending and actually landing the warm leads that you so want to grow your business. And then most people that click on the ads don't buy initially. It's just like cold calls and everything else. But if you set up your remarketing where they come to your website, and then you have a pixel on your website that tracks them, and then it runs ads to them for the next several weeks of various forms to try and get them to come back to you and re-engage you. These ads actually cost a fraction of what forward-facing ads do, and can help you get a much higher conversion rate than just one-off ads forward-facing. So definitely important to include remarketing on whatever platform you're using. And then with all this activity and content and ads and telesales and trade shows, you need a really good CRM or some way to track all these interested parties so that you can grow the empire and kick butt. With web forms, hopefully, we switched over to Pipedrive recently, which is very sales focused. It actually provides, you can build custom web forms for each page on your website for the different topics or services that people might be actually approaching you for. And then it keeps track of all the leads. It sends us email notifications when we get a new lead from a page. So if we don't see it or if we're not aware of it in the CRM, we're getting an email notification. And then it allows you to, take notes, set up calendar reminders, and really in most cases it takes 2 to 5 touches for a sale to actually happen in B2B sales, in my opinion, and I think that's what the stats say as well. That's a lot of different ideas. I mean, there's also other things that you could do. You could do direct mail, you could do door hangers, speaking engagements and public relations, which is actually probably a really great use of your time if you can get speaking engagements and get in front of a lot of people that might use your service or products. And then local paid marketing, but tons of different ideas. We by no means have it all figured out, but these are the strategies that we're most using more focused on the content and paid ads and social media engagement now and email marketing, because if we stop making cold calls, the sales go down. But if I create evergreen content and pay for my ads to keep spending, it's almost, especially the content and the email marketing, it's evergreen sales reps that are out there 24/7. So I would really incentivize you to spend more time on this along the way, so that you build up this big inbound lead funnel, and you have tons of clients begging you for your service or product, and a very viable and profitable business. But I've done this to try and be helpful, to try and lead you through kind of what we've done and all the different things that we're trying that are helping. And I'm always open to talking or consulting or meeting with you or collaborating on different ways that maybe you're doing things differently that are working, because I know there's tons of people that, if you don't have warm leads, you don't really have a business. You can have the most beautiful office, the most beautiful secretary, beautiful art on the wall, but if you don't have any interested parties that want to buy your product or service, you're going to be out of business really fast. So lead generation is the key, and if you can do it for one business, you can probably do it for other businesses. So becoming a lead generation specialist, I think, is probably one of the most important skills that you could have if you're an entrepreneur or a serial entrepreneur, kind of like I am. So it's definitely something that I'm getting better and better at. And if you want to collaborate or talk through, different things that you're doing, so that we can all learn, or do a collaborative podcast or interview or educational seminar, I'm totally open to that. I can be reached at jeremy@easylogisticsmanagement.com or 866-854-5341 extension 3. Hope you're having a kick-ass week, and let's talk soon.